It feels like every company nowadays has their own streaming service. Everywhere you turn, it's, hey man, for $5.99 a month, you can watch these 2 movies, and then the rest of our catalog is terrible. And it really is just turning into a modern day cable situation, and the subscription is almost never worth it. It's always pretty bad. But where else does that let you turn to?
Tubi. Tubi. Tubi.
What? Tubi is a free streaming platform that's owned by Fox, and it actually has 80 million monthly users, which, according to my most recent statistics, is more than Hulu, Peacock, and a few other terrible ones that nobody cares about. And you know, that got me thinking, if 80 million people are using this, why have I never been told to use it? No one told me because it's bad. But honestly, it's bad in like my favorite way. And while it does definitely have some good movies and shows, that's not why I use it. I absolutely love bad movies, specifically bad horror movies. There's just something so fun about something trying to be scary, but it's just bad. Tubi is like the Library of Alexandria of bad movies. And you can really just find anything. Tubi is home to absolute classics like Ouija Shark. And yes, this is a movie about people summoning a ghost shark with a Ouija board. There's also this weird Thor knockoff, which is definitely not Marvel, if you couldn't tell. There's also Legend of the Kung Fu Rabbit. I guess Tubi has a lot of knockoff movies too. Favorite one I found so far is The Space Fighter. Can you guess when this movie was made just by the cover art? Did you guess 2022? Because I sure did not. I did take a look at this movie really quick, and I just want to show you a snippet of it. I don't know who was doing the special effects for this movie, but I need to hire them. Because, good lord, what is happening? Now, they also have a wonderful assortment of TV shows, such as Wolf Blood. You guys aren't ready for this title. The thicker the berry, the sweeter the juice. This is a show about, and I quote, this is me quoting the description, a plus-sized woman with no luck in the dating game gets involved with the neighborhood bad boy. Plus-sized lady getting involved with the bad boy. I don't understand why. I don't see why her being plus-sized matters at all. Well, you know, I guess that means the juice is sweeter. My bad. The juice is sweeter. I'm sorry, I'll move on. Don't forget, they also have Lesbian Homie 2, the absolute cinematic masterpiece directed by Big Jaw. He's the guy that's mewing in the He's the guy that's mewing in the thumbnail, if you can't tell. And I swear to God, they just throw anything on Tubi, which, to be fair, actually does help a lot of people that really wouldn't have gotten a chance to make something like this normally, get their big break or get their moment. And some of them shouldn't have gotten their big break, but it is cool to see independent people getting more of a chance to make stuff like this. And when I was looking further, I found one that shouldn't have been made, Trump versus the Illuminati. It's a movie about a clone of Donald J. Trump fighting off space aliens with his rocket spaceship. This is the worst thing I have ever seen, and I genuinely couldn't finish watching it. I was originally gonna watch it for this video. I could not finish it. But, you know, not to discredit Tubi, let's take a look. Maybe the Tubi originals are good, and I'm just being too judgmental, you know? Is what I thought until I watched this movie, Conjuring the Genie, and I don't want you to get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I didn't scour the platform looking for it. I wasn't hunting around for the worst movie I could find. This was literally the second movie that got recommended to me right after The Zombinator, which The Zombinator sounds like a movie you'd see in like Diary of a Wimpy Kid. You know, he's like walking up to Rowley and he's like, yo, Rowley, we gotta go see The Zombinator tonight. And Rowley's like, isn't that rated R? And Greg's like, nah, dude, come on, it'd be so cool. Like, it doesn't sound like a real movie. But besides that, grab your popcorn and like a soda or something. I don't know. I'm not your fucking mom. Just we're gonna watch Conjuring the Genie, okay? I think you can gather that. So be ready. It's the worst movie you've ever seen. So we open up on this lady just chilling, reading a book, and it pans over to the book and she's looking at this freaky ass djinn, is what they call him. He kind of looks like a goblin to me, but that's besides the point. This is our main character. Not really. Her name is Gina. I'm fairly certain she's schizophrenic because she keeps hearing this like little man laughing in the background. And she starts walking around the house, and I guess she isn't schizophrenic because 3 minutes into the movie, we get our creature reveal, which... I don't think people realize, I don't think a lot of movie creators realize how important the creature reveal is for a horror movie. Because if you really build that up, it can give a lot of suspense of like that kind of unknown. But the second you see it, it can really make or break that movie. Especially when it's Dave from the fucking Party City wearing his $5 costume that he found. You know, it's like, it's really not that scary anymore, guys.
You're not. Gina? What? Christ is going on? Just stay upstairs.
I don't understand this dialogue. Why would you want your mom to just stay upstairs where the genie is? Wouldn't you want her to like maybe climb out a window or like get out? For all you know, that's just some dude up there. He's gonna stab your mom. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't be like, hey mom, there's a demon on the same floor as you, 2 doors down. You should stay right there. And now that he knows where you are, you'll be totally safe. Like, she just kind of told the genie where she was. I don't know. That doesn't matter. Just keep in mind this entire time, the genie's still just standing at the top of the stairs staring at her. She calls her dad and starts telling him that she's not crazy. She's like, I see him. He's right in front of me. I'm not crazy.
Look, I didn't believe it at first when they said that it happened to them, but now I know it's real. And ever since, I felt like I'm being watched.
Yeah, you probably are being watched by Discount Jeepers Creepers up at the top of the staircase up there. I would genuinely think that this is some sort of robber that broke into my house trying to steal my shit before I thought it was some demon trying to steal me. Like, look at him. I mean, just look at him. He eventually, like, teleports down the stairs, even though we can kind of see him behind her before he does that. I don't think that was intentional, but maybe it was. Finally, with this, get a full close-up of the mask. I genuinely think I've seen this mask before while I was handing out candy on Halloween. This looks like it was $5. And look, I know this is probably not the highest budget, like $100 million blockbuster movie, but if you're gonna do a movie with a creature in the title, you'd think you'd put a little bit more of the budget into the creature that's in the title. Unless the budget for the whole movie was $5, I don't think they spent really anything on it. And so far, the scariest part of this creature, and I really want to warn you guys before I say this, he's British.
Now you must make a wish.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know. It's the worst, but it's okay. It's a horror movie for a reason. Now, if you can't tell by the title Conjuring a Genie, this is the Genie. You know, like Robin Williams or Will Smith, but this guy's evil. He gives bad wishes. She wishes to never see him again, and, you know, being the evil genie that he is, he's like, oh, you should, like, stab your eye so you can't see me. Ha, evil genie. Bad wish. It's like a really basic trope. I feel like everybody's heard this before of like, oh, what if the genie doesn't do your wish properly? There's a fucking State Farm commercial about it. She's like, I want $1 million, and then 1 million male deer show up in her house. I don't know if I'll be able to find that clip, so I don't know if I'm gonna include this. But anyways, the mom comes out on the balcony while the daughter's like struggling to stop the scissors from going in her eyes. She's like, no, please don't do it. And while she can't see the genie, she can see Gina holding the scissors, right? And she just kind of sits up there and looks at her for a while too. Like, it's really funny. This scene goes on for like a full 2 minutes of her just sitting up there going like, Gina, no, Gina, stop, Gina, don't, no, Gina. But eventually Gina succumbs to the genie and she stabs herself in the eye with the scissors. And we get this hilarious scene of the mom noticing. And then we get our beautiful little title card. We open up on some really slow, really uncut dialogue of these two talking about going to their lectures or something, which is boring. So I skipped it. I didn't skip it, but I'm skipping it here. You're welcome. Eventually, Morgan, the blonde one, goes to school again after missing for unknown reasons and gets an assignment full of foreshadowing because it's about researching urban legends. I guess she's in like a writing class. I don't know. They also never name the black-haired woman, so I just call her random shit throughout the video, but you'll understand who it is. So when we got to this scene, I was looking back at my notes that I took while I was watching the movie, and all I wrote was Jake. So I don't really know what that means, but I think that shows how important this character was to the plot. But we skip over to black-haired woman and this unnamed guy. I think his name is Pete. I could be wrong with that. I think his name was Pete, so I'm going to call him Pete for the rest of the movie. He breaks up with her in front of their entire friend group, which is kind of harsh, man. Like, you know, you couldn't have, like, called her in private or gone somewhere else. Even a text would have been better than breaking up with her in front of her entire friend group. We finally find out through this conversation that Morgan's dad died, and that's why she's been gone. So no paranormal shit yet. Yeah, only the middle guy here was named, so I'm assuming the other two are just not important at all, because only Jake got a name. And even then, Jake. Okay, so I really wanted to see what was happening here, and I don't know what their mic setup was, but when they pan over to Morgan in this scene, you literally cannot understand a word she is saying. The most you hear is like, mama. I'm not, like, you can watch the movie yourself, it's free. But yeah, it was bad.
Morgs, what's going on?
It sounds like she's in the bathroom, like across the hall, and you just have to like kind of make out what she's saying. We eventually cut over to Tom. They finally gave him a name, so hello, Tom. His mom tells him that she's been sleeping with his teacher who was in that room. She's been sleeping with him so he could get on the squad, which I don't think they ever say what the squad is, but that's a crazy thing to tell your son, right? Like, that's not just me, that's like a really weird thing. Like, hey son, been doing your teacher so you can get on the squad. We cut to Morgan researching more urban legends, and we get this beautiful website, you know, Foot Finder, yeah. But she scrolls through this website and I guess trusts it enough to call the number on the bottom for some reason. And we get to meet the beautiful man named Daniel Summoner. Not a suspicious name at all for a guy that's summoning demons. And he invites them to go summon some ghosts and ghoulies down at the church, you know? Just a typical Saturday night for these crazy teens. We're gonna summon Satan. Okay, so somehow Morgan convinced her friends to go out there and summon these demons with Daniel. Which actually, you know, I say somehow, I probably would do that too. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, they go into the church and we get some beautiful dialogue.
I've always found churches creepy, let alone at night.
That's the point, brother. We're invoking a spirit, so where else to go than a church? Come on, have a chair.
Like, I already don't like this guy. It's just, ugh. We get the most uncomfortable dialogue I've ever seen.
Sorry.
Has anyone heard of the Bloody Mary?
Oh, yeah, it's when you see her in the mirror, right?
You guys ever heard of the wishing demon?
And it leads us into our first introduction of the Wishing Demon. Ah! What a terrible name.
What if I told you that supposedly it was trapped within this?
I would tell you that you've had too much to drink.
You don't want to give it a go?
Okay, we'll do it.
One wish. Wish carefully. You can be its master.
It's not the first thing she's been the master of.
Not the first thing she's been the master of. What does that even mean? I get that that's supposed to be like an innuendo, but of what? Is she like a super freak? They do some weird ass ritual and main girl gets taken away from everyone and she finally gets to meet the Wishing Demon. She finally gets a glimpse of Dollar Store Dave. But it turns out when she comes back, I guess everybody saw him. They all had like their own visions of him. And for some reason, for some reason Daniel wasn't in the room afterwards. So creepy. Maybe he's a spirit. He's not. He just fucked off. But we get more really mundane dialogue, and then the gang parts ways, going back to their house. And this part doesn't really matter at all for the movie, but I just thought this lady's line delivery was really funny. It's like TikTok level bad. I'm just gonna show you it.
Oh, you look really cute. Where are you going to?
Oh, I have an interview for an agency.
An agency? Which agency is that?
Modelling.
Modelling? Oh, well, you have come to the right place.
I don't think they ever named this woman, so I'm just gonna call her Unnamed Lady. But she gets run up on by the genie again, and he forces her to make a wish. And she gives the vaguest response ever, which is, I want people to see me as perfect. Why? Why is that the wish that you gave this demon, literal demon? You're like, I'm gonna give him a really vague answer that he could really twist in any way he wants. Just say like, hey, I want to look like fucking 2011 Megan Fox, you know? It's like, there's really easy ways to force him to do something very specific. Anyways, she gets turned into this really shitty doll, which has a bunch of like cracks and like bad like paint on it. So it's not even perfect. She doesn't even look perfect with this. I thought he was gonna make like a perfect porcelain doll. No. Nope. Get fucked, I guess. But I just want you guys to watch this scene and see what I've been watching this whole time. Do you see what I have to suffer through for you guys? So I guess at this point she's dead. They don't really clarify it, but she's basically dead at this. I don't know, moving on. She didn't really matter. We get the craziest rejection I have ever heard.
No, listen, okay, I didn't want to say this because I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I'm a young guy, right? And I have needs.
Yeah, and I didn't.
No, listen. I don't just want to stick it with someone that I sort of like.
Followed by an immediate, I'm pregnant. Which I thought this movie was about genies. That doll scene happened like 10 minutes ago. It's just been dialogue. It's called Conjuring the Genie, not Conjuring the Baby. That's so bad. I'm sorry. But black hair lady goes away back home and they immediately reveal that she was lying about being pregnant. Not even that like she tricked him into doing it. She just like said it for some reason. And I really just don't care about this subplot. Like it does not matter, but it's been taking up more movie time than the Genie has. But speaking of the Genie, he's back. Morgan's in the library. She gets sucked into this time realm with the doll lady. And I guess it's like infection tag, where when the Genie gets you, you're coming with him now and you have to infect everybody else. I don't really know. But the Genie asks for Morgan's wish, and she wishes for her fucking dad back. Has no one seen Pet Sematary ever? Like, I don't get it. Like, you're gonna ask some freak-ass demon for your dead dad back and be like, yeah, I think this is a good idea. Like, obviously nothing bad's gonna happen here. Speaking of Pet Sematary, we cut back to Daniel again, and he actually tricked the entire cast. I know. Crazy shocker. I know nobody was expecting that, but yeah, he tricked the cast. But apparently he did it to get his sister back, which is why I said, speaking of Pet Sematary, because I'm not crazy. Why does anybody think that'll work? Hey, I'm gonna ask this demon for a loved one back, and he's not gonna mess with anything. He's not gonna summon my sister as a zombie, you know? Like, what? And, I'm sorry, guys. I actually stand corrected. The dad came back. I guess all's well that ends well, and nothing bad's gonna happen here. Nothing bad actually happens here. The dad never does anything bad. I'm like, spoiler, I guess, but he never does anything bad. But anyways, she starts telling the squad that her dad's back and that the Genie works and all their wishes will come true. And I guess she's just glossing over the fact that, wait, oh, they did name the doll woman. Her name's Diane. I guess I wrote it down here and just completely forgot it. Is she just not gonna tell anybody that her friend got turned into a doll woman and is like working with the Genie now? Like, she just doesn't care. You know, she may have fucking died, but I got my dad back, so that's like pretty cool, right? Maybe her wish was to be a doll. But she goes back to her mom and starts explaining everything that happened with her dad coming back, and to everybody's surprise, the mom does not care. She's just like, oh, wait, he's back? Fuck yeah. Like, she just doesn't care. But we flip back to the black hair lady, still don't remember her name, and she gets a text from that dude about the baby that she was having. Do you remember the baby? I didn't remember the baby, because this happened like 20 minutes after they first introduced the baby. But immediately after that text, we get this beautiful shot.
Oh my god.
She gets asked what her wish is by the Genie, and in the biggest fuck up since the Hindenburg, she asks a demon to make her pregnant. Is she a little dumb, maybe? Maybe just like a lot of dumb? Why? Anyways, he grants her wish and then like blows coke in her face. I don't know why he did this. He never does this again. It's just like a random little I don't know why he did it. But I guess she's pregnant now, so expect the Antichrist in about 6 to 9 months. The only sensible one, Jake, is looking for Daniel now, which Morgan just wants him to give up and like forget about it because her dad's back, and she's just totally cool with it. She's just totally fine with reviving a dead guy using a demon for some reason. Also, I just thought I'd mention again the whole sleeping with the teacher subplot because they brought it back. It has absolutely nothing to do with the plot in the future, but the mom did offer the teacher a blowjob to get him on the squad, and then Tom's like, no. Or no. Whoa. I mixed up those names, and those are not names I should mix up. The teacher is like, well, Tom's just a little physically not fit to be on the team, so $5, Tom wishes to be strong, and then he like explodes or something. We flip back to Morgan and Jake. By the way, there's a lot of flip backs, so just be prepared for that. And she just keeps telling him, let a good thing lie, or like let good things happen for once. And why is everybody forgetting about the doll girl? Everybody just doesn't care. They're like, that's fine. Like, Morgan saw her 2 inches from her face, and she was like, come on, make your wish. And everybody's like, yeah, she's all right. She's fine. But we flip back to Tom again and get a scene straight out of a Party City ad. Like his little walk into the room is what got me there. But Tom finally asks for his wish, and his wish is to be stronger, obviously. And we get a cutaway, so unfortunately we don't know what happened yet, but I'm pretty sure he blows up. We cut back to Jake and Morgan, who found Daniel, and his name is actually Matthew, so another name to remember, guys. Woo! Morgan tells old Maddie boy that she wished for her dad back when he asked her what she wished for. It turns out her wish is actually totally fine because she was holding that amulet when they did the summoning ritual, so I guess that's cool. But everybody else's wishes is going to kill them. They're all screwed. We bounce back to Tom, and we get to see his gains up close, except you don't because he actually turned into a werewolf. I don't know. I think he's a werewolf. We don't really know because literally like 5 seconds after cutting to him, we cut over to the pregnant lady who is like super pregnant now. So watch out, guys. The Antichrist is kicking. They cut away from her as well after like 5 seconds, and we get some long exposition about Matthew selling the main characters to the genie to get his sister back. I don't know. Boring. Let me see some ghouls. Let me see some ghouls and genies and goblins. But he lets Morgan know that the longer the dad stays alive, the more like life force or whatever the genie's gonna suck out of her, so she needs to get rid of him if she wants to stay alive. Also, apparently his sister is alive. She's just got that millennial like black eye filter, so she's basically dead. Well, we cut back to Tom once more, and he is brutally mauling them in our second creature reveal, which is somehow worse than the first one. I don't know. I didn't think that was possible, but yeah, it is. But besides that, we get the goriest kill I have ever seen in any horror movie ever. So viewer discretion is advised because this genuinely might shock you. God, ugh. I don't even know if I can show that on YouTube. It was so gory. That was awful. I guess because of this, we're down to Jake, Morgan, and the pregnant lady. I guess the other two are dead now. Morgan is told again that she needs to get rid of her dad to save her friends. And personally, I wouldn't like, if I knew the genie was like taking my life force to like fake summon back somebody from the dead, why would you want to keep that? It's not even your real dad. Like, it was the genie the whole time. He like transforms into him every once in a while. Again, Pet Sematary, please, for the love of God, somebody in this movie watch Pet Sematary and you will understand exactly why this is a terrible idea. Oh, also, speaking of pregnant lady, she is now giving birth in the kitchen, so I guess time really flies when you're raising the spawn of Satan. Luckily though, Pete, to the rescue, shows up, and no, he's actually immediately leaving when he sees her on the floor pregnant, which is fucked, but also he does not come back. This is the last time we see him in the movie. Good guy, Pete. And okay, this is where I get kind of lost here. When he grants her wish fully, she doesn't give birth to anything. She turns into a mummy. That doesn't really make sense to me because it's not like in her wish she was like, I want to be a mummy. You know, she asked to be pregnant. There's so many loops you have to jump through to get to her turning into a mummy for that. I just feel like there were better ways to have gotten her out of there. Side note though, it is probably the best costume in the movie, which is not really saying much. Jake and Morgan head back to the church to finally end things once and for all, and I guess the mom and dad are already there. And I guess nobody really bothered to tell the dad that he got revived or anything, because he's just really confused the whole time. The whole movie, he's just like, Morgan, what's going on? Guys, don't do this. You don't have to do this. I'm back, guys. But they turn the camera around to a fucking Fright Night haunted house section. Like, just, oh my God. We get some really long pan shots, and I mean long. It's like 30 seconds each of just the characters, like, twitching around. Like, they all do the doll movement. They're all like and I just feel like I'm watching an episode of Face Off. Okay, scratch that. I feel like I'm watching the people that tried out for Face Off and didn't get on because their makeup was shit. I don't know. Anyways, Morgan gets into this really weird argument with the genie, and the genie turns into like a toddler. He's like, no, I like cursing people. I'm gonna keep doing it. And Morgan's like, Genie, you gotta stop that. It's not right. It's like, lady, you're not talking to some mischievous kid that likes to draw on the walls. You're talking to a literal demon. Like, I don't think they processed that this entire movie. But she keeps arguing with him. Genie keeps trying to tempt her into keeping her wish and like making a pact with her to get her friends back. And it actually doesn't work. I was kind of expecting it to, honestly. But yeah, no, she doesn't fall for it. She starts to banish him. And he kind of looks like Aang from Avatar when he turns into the Avatar state. I just thought that was kind of funny. I don't know why they chose that kind of visual. But the genie is no more. He's done. The big bad is gone. Oh, also the friends are just kind of dead. They kind of gloss over this. They go outside and Jake's like, what happened to our friends? And Morgan's like, well, I guess their souls are free. And then they just never sucks to be them, I guess. I don't know. But you will never guess what happens at the end. Remember Matthew? He actually comes back and steals the... Wait, no, okay, Morgan's here too for some reason. I don't know how she knew he was here, but she convinces him to leave the amulet, and I thought this was going to be hinting at the sequel, like he was going to take it, and then it was going to zoom in and do all that, but... I mean, they can't possibly make a sequel. Wait, no, they made a second one. There is a Conjuring the Genie too. I'm not joking. They actually made a sequel. Oh, wait, no, there's also Pet Graveyard. Maybe they did listen to me. But yeah, anyways... that was one of the movies of all time, I guess. Way too much dialogue for a movie about a wish-granting demon, you know? Just way too much. Honestly, I don't think I can physically do Conjuring the Genie 2. I'm gonna go wash my eyes out, actually, and watch a better movie. Like Lesbian Homie 2. Bye-bye.